Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. It's the call-in show to talk to Delaney and Shawn. We're on the other end of the microphone, hoping that you'll call us at
220-222-4686.
I love that phone number. In any case, a lot of things happening, like really big for us in the ministry. We've had some meetings over the weekend, well attended, grateful for those who were in participation. It was a private meeting for people who are friends and family to discuss the unfolding events of the ministry coming into January of next year. So hang with us and keep tuning in. The app has gotten quite a bit of response, and we're surprised because we are having people sign up in ways they've never done before. Delaney has been proactive in putting out clips, which we have not done for quite a while, to it showing me talking with Ratio Christie and then teaching and things. And so, I mean, we have one that's well over 20,000 views with a lot of incendiary comments, which is really disappointing to us because there's no need to be incendiary. You can just say what you think and ask for insight and clarifications instead of saying that I'm a liar and stuff like that. So we're here. Delaney is looking through the comments, and I'm going to turn it over to her to see if she has anything to say.
No, just excited for the rest of this year. Keep an eye out, and there's a lot more to come.
Yeah.
So you can call, you can text. You see it on your screen right now, and you can enter into the live chat any questions. We have some questions from the forums at Yeshuans. We have, and that's yeshuans.faith is the website. We have a question in the chat right now, and then we have plenty from the repository this week. So I always like to prioritize the chat. So American Brunette Doll says, we'll listen offline, but could you provide a fulfillment perspective to Zechariah 14 verse 4? I've heard this verse being used as proof Jesus has not returned.
Yeah. Well, first of all, through Zechariah 14, it's likely that was fulfilled in the Maccabean Wars of the 2nd century BC because these prophecies, though, they have a dual fulfillment in Jewish war of the 1st century. And so in Zechariah 14:2, the prophet predicts that, quote, all the nations will be gathered to Jerusalem to fight against it. This seems to have been fulfilled when the Roman legions and auxiliary armies consisting of a vast array of ethnic groups from all over the world attacked Jerusalem in 70 AD. Then in Zechariah 14:4, Zechariah predicts the Mount of Olives, this is the famous one, was to be split in two. Now, if it wasn't talking about the Maccabean Wars, then we have to explain it today. Confirmation of the fulfillment of this verse is found in the fact that the Mount of Olives is split into today. In AD 66, at the start of the Jewish war, an army of angels appeared in the clouds, according to two first-century historians. And that supernatural specter may fulfill verse 5 where it says, then the Lord my God will come and all the holy ones with him. 1 month before the army of angels appeared in the sky, a miraculous light in the temple lit up the city of Jerusalem so bright that it appeared to be bright daytime in the middle of the night. That miracle might fulfill verse 7 when it says, when evening comes, there will be light. And, you know, I want to act like I'm really smart and that I'm just saying all this from my brain. But the fact of the matter is, I get it all from people who have spent far more time in eschatology. And I'm going to give you a reference right now to the brunette, and that's revelationrevolution.org. Revelationrevolution.org. And then you could backslash it to Zechariah-14-fulfilled. And that reference, along with Adam Marshak, who spoke at our eschatology conference, all of it will give you the information you need to help support questions like this in detail. I mean, I think the response in the Revelation is about 20 pages long with references, citations, Josephus, the Midrash of Rabbah Lamentations, and in Ezekiel. So if you go to that, I think you're going to get a far more exhaustive answer from these resources than you will from me.
That is really interesting. I'm noticing that with comments about like preterism or fulfillment. We don't really align with preterism necessarily, but that they're like, they see things and say that that obviously hasn't happened, quote unquote, to things that happened so long ago that there's no way they know if it happened. Like they've never looked into it. It's a really weird thing that like it can't be fulfilled. This and this hasn't happened.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's like such a common response that I don't understand fully.
Part of the reason is they're reading those things that obviously haven't happened with American English eyes, not with Jewish eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jews talked in a very different way than we talk.
Yeah. And then they say we are cherry picking the Bible when they're reading it with American English eyes.
Yeah.
In 2025.
Yeah.
As still, yeah.
And that opens us up to a conversation that we've had in the past. And I really do believe this. You might not agree, but I think that generally speaking, most human beings discover and believe what they want to discover and believe. And it's partially predicated on how mom and dad brought kids up. It's predicated on the things their churches teach. It's predicated on what their popular peer group teaches and believes. And it's predicated on their willingness to suffer for a different view.
Yeah.
And all of those things, plus the need for certainty, play into us seeing and believing what we really want to see and believe. And I've experienced that. We all do.
Yeah.
And I think you're seeing that, Delaney, on the comments in the social media things.
It's just, there's such a difference between acknowledging that or not. Like seeing and believing, sitting in it, knowing it's limited, and accusing others of going to hell or wielding Satan's power for doing the opposite. Like,
Those are just thought-killing cliches that assassinate the character ad hominem, and they just close the discussion book so that person can feel like they've done God's bidding.
Yeah, I have asked you recently about the term heresy and it's like you rightfully don't even talk about it because of how ridiculous it is. But it's one of the strongest mechanisms for like thought killing cliches for individuals to write something off and call it heretical. Heresy is the most relative term to ever exist. Yeah. We could call them heretical from the fulfilled perspective.
Yes.
Like that. It's so strange, and anyone's heresy is different from the next. And heresy, to me, they are calling something heretical to affiliate it with cult-like mechanisms, but calling something heresy in itself is cult-like. Yeah, that is cult-like because you're saying that this other thing cannot exist in my presence. Like you cannot exist. It is not within orthodoxy is a cult. Not proper like Christian, but like
your point is dead on. Your point is dead on.
I do not. It baffles me that people can't see that it is a cult. The mainstream is the cult. Yeah. Not the fringe. Right. Fringe can be culty 100%, but individuals aren't cults. Right. Individuals are not cults. Yeah. I don't understand that.
I don't know. When it comes to heresy, here's the difference a little bit is that the Protestants can go back and they can look at what the general consensus was about certain things. And when the believers came to a general consensus, like the Trinity, eternal punishment, it became law. And they just look at what it has generally been believed. And so what they'll say is, how come you're the one who, after 2,000 years, you're the one who gets to see, you're the only one.
If you're the only one saying this, first of all. But,
right. I'm not on anything. Nothing's really, I have a few original thoughts, but most of them are definitely in the heretical category, truly. But the other stuff is all very commonplace. It's just the popular opinion wins. And when you have 10,000 people believe something versus 5, the 10,000th voice is heard the loudest.
But that's human nature. When it comes to God, it's such a different, I don't know. It's the same. It's just done worse.
I just want to point out that all you got to do, and I know this is going to bother people, is that when Yeshua walked the earth, he was heretical. And they absolutely could not take it. And that anybody who came along after him was heretical. Paul was heretical. These Protestants who stand by their Protestantism, what do they think Martin Luther was? He was a heretic in the face of Roman Catholicism. And they accept that because it's not present day. If Martin Luther was alive today behind this microphone, we would have the lunatics calling him a heretic.
And calling the whole thing a cult. Like Christianity was a cult in its time. In Jesus's time, that was what people today would perceive as a cult.
A cult,
It's wild.
And even Luther, there's more to call what he did as cultic because there's Lutherans. We're not starting McCraney's.
It's like, it's just
It's
wild.
all unfair is what it is.
I just don't. The Trinity's a big one.
We had a question on that, didn't we?
That does lead us into the question. A few people in the chat saying hello. Hi, thank you for being here. Please submit questions or thoughts. But in the Yeshuans app, in the forums, we have someone pointing out kind of this, and I've dealt with this a lot myself, where asking about the Trinity. And they bring up a Wes Huff who is out there doing theological stuff on the internet and apparently is very knowledgeable and still doesn't, knows all the history of everything, knows all the same facts that we know, but doesn't acknowledge or see the argument against the Trinity or see fulfillment in the Bible, these things. So the person in the forums is asking, why is this? What happens? What is it that people, these big scholars and theologians are missing when they devote their lives to this and we devote our lives to this and we get these different conclusions?
I would first respond with a story. In Japan back 20 years ago, there was a blind cult leader over a group called the Shinrikyo. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm sorry, Japanese fans. And the Shinrikyo decided that they should all get together and drop, I think it was ricin, gas in the Japanese subway, and they killed a bunch of people. And it was like in the high 80s of members of the Shinrikyo were PhDs.
Wow.
If you look at Mormonism at the highest echelons, they have the highest education level of all the religions. I mean, these guys are really well educated. Intelligence has nothing to do. James White is a very smart man. Has nothing to do with the truth.
I mean, it's outside of Christianity, it's the case. There's very intelligent philosophers that argue that the world is one way or the other. They literally experience the world and teach it the opposite. So it's kind of the same.
It's the same. So that's one thing. Intelligence, the fact that someone is schooled or educated, that has never stopped educated men and women from believing that a boy an angel told him to go dig up gold plates from his hill and translate them through two rocks connected to his eyes. I mean, that defies all of it, right? The second thing is we have really underestimated the power of culture and tradition in our lives. You have to break through those things if you want to open your eyes to other views. And if all you do is feed your prejudices, you'll constantly see all the supports for your prejudice.
Yeah.
And I've done that. I was a Trinitarian and I was a believer in the Mormon Godhood. And I have changed my mind on things. So I'm not perfect at it, but at least I'm willing to change my mind.
Yeah.
When someone cuts their teeth on Trinity from the time they're whatever, and that's what they prove, I just have to say is they've been biased for presuppositional information.
Yeah. It's not a show of intelligence to be able to articulate something that has always existed and already been articulated.
No.
Like that, and to see it that way is just what you're expected to do.
Yeah.
It's to see it a different way and to articulate that as, I don't know what that is, but.
The third thing about it is I watched part of the tape that our friend Justin.
No, Hayden sent.
Hayden,
of Wes
thanks,
Huff.
Hayden. Yeah, I've also tried to talk to Wes, but he always leaves in a huff. Oh, Delaney hates my dad jokes. But I did watch it, and listen, what he says we don't disagree with.
Yeah.
This is the other thing about the subject of Trinity. It's like it's a thought-killing word.
Yes.
And if you say, I don't agree with everything about the Trinity, suddenly you are anathema to everybody.
Yeah.
What we don't agree with are really not essentials.
Yeah. If you say you don't agree with the Trinity, they think you don't even think Jesus existed or something.
Yeah,
Like,
some absurd thing. Or that the Holy Spirit isn't God. It's the Holy damn Spirit.
Yeah.
It's God's Spirit.
Yeah. You still say that all these things are God, and it
doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's still here. Yeah.
Yeah. So all of that plays into answering Hayden.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Hayden.
Yes. On a side note, there's a guy. What's his name? Alex. Jeff, you're in the comments. I feel like you know that influencer podcaster Alex,
Trebek,
who is an atheist, and he's starting to come around to the plausibility of Christianity. That's happening a lot these days with these different. It's kind of scaring me, actually. I don't really like it.
Let me tell you, the conversion.
Alex O'Connor. Thanks, Jeff.
Oh, okay.
Do you know him?
No.
He's British, dark hair.
Is he a young guy?
Yeah.
I've seen clips come up. I've seen his thing, but
Yeah.
I don't watch him. But I've seen his little face.
Yeah, I know.
He looks like kind of like a rock star of the 60s or something.
He does, like a Beatle.
Yeah, like a Beatle. What's he saying?
Well, just, that it was hot at the time for him to be into like Richard Dawkins or what, that sort of, they call it new atheism. And that the more that he interviews people, the more he's like, the actual thing about the story of Jesus is more plausible than I thought. Like, it isn't this what atheists make it out to be, basically. Yeah. So yeah.
And we're seeing more and more of it, and that's great. It's nice. I see Joe Rogan entertaining more Christian apologist guests and all this, and we see, what's that guy's name who's so popular, Canadian PhD, Jordan Peterson, and all his religiosity. But I got to tell you, listening to them, they're all just so lost on details and facts.
Well, that's the thing. It's just like any other Christian. Really.
Yeah, it really is. It's any other Christian explaining it to non-Christians.
Nice. Yeah. But these guys are with the most intelligent people in the world. Yeah. So, okay. Is there reasoning why Joe Smith said Jesus was born in Jerusalem instead of Bethlehem, since he copied the Bible?
Yeah, he just got that mixed up. made a mistake. And the way they explain that away is that it's like saying I was born in Los Angeles. Jesus was born in Los Angeles when he was really born in Whittier.
Like
Whittier's a
subset.
subset of Los Angeles.
Okay. All right, let's get to from Jen. I want to read it all, but I'll summarize she has trouble with full eschatology for one reason, and that is John the apostle still being around in 90 AD, not referring to the dating of the book of Revelation, but the fact that he like wasn't taken, basically.
Yeah.
What is that?
We have a little bit of a picture of that when Jesus and Yeshua and Peter and John and some others were on the Sea of Galilee fishing, and Jesus appeared to them. And he made them fish and breakfast, and he said, come on in, and they went in. And Yeshua has a conversation with Peter, and Peter says, well, what about him? Pointing ostensibly to John. And Yeshua says, well, what if he is around until I come or something? What does it matter to you? I'm just paraphrasing. Okay. It starts with that in terms of an answer. So there is the possibility that he could have been around at the return of Christ. The second thing that is very biblical is God always leaves a remnant.
Yeah.
And that is so that other humans can pass information on.
Yeah.
So that's entirely plausible. The third thing is that Jen's belief that John lived to 90 is only supported by one reference from a guy named Polycarp who said he was his friend, and it's cited by the church historian Eusebius in 300 something. So that's how far distant the information to validate that opinion is. So we don't even know that that's accurate. We have very little accuracy on timestamps and dates and things like that.
Yeah.
So if he was a remnant, fine. If he was left to hang around, fine. If it's a mistake by Polycarp and Eusebius, fine. It really doesn't matter because the fulfillment of everything Yeshua said in Matthew 24 is supported by secular evidences and revelation. So and it's like this, we've said this before, Del, and that is when it comes to fulfillment and our stance on it, if it's 10,000 facts, we've got 9,950 right.
Yeah.
If you want to focus on the 50,
Yeah.
that we don't have real clear answers on, go ahead. You don't want to believe it. You're seeing what you want to see.
Yeah. At this point, like with it not being well known, it's like the only thing that would really convince someone is if they learn all 9,950 facts,
Right.
like, which means literally studying the book of Revelation themselves.
Yeah.
Not just reading Christianity's Greatest Dilemma, like
Right.
not reading the summaries, like
Right.
getting into it. And
I will say, not proudly, but I will say to our defense, we do have 23 books that go with each chapter of Revelation as a study aid on what was said about those specific passages.
Yeah.
So if somebody doesn't want to do the work, but does just want to see what we say,
Understand.
it's there.
Yeah,
We've done it
absolutely.
for you.
Yeah.
But I don't see anybody ordering those.
No one wants to do that
Yeah.
work. And yet they're okay with using the one of the 50 out of the 900 or 10,000 as not accepting it and being okay with this other thing that has 5,000 of the 10,000 wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
We have a good friend who comes around sometimes, and he came to the eschatology conference, and he heard abundance of
yeah,
information.
that was an overwhelming.
And he's like, I just have one question. And he asked the question, and he got an answer, but it didn't suffice. And he said, that's the one that's the deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're
course.
seeing what you want
Yeah.
to see, buddy. Come on.
It's like, it's like he came in knowing
Yeah.
he won't listen unless this one thing is
Right.
answered. That's how we all really work.
We do.
We really do.
That's why you have to be a seeker, you guys, and you have to be willing to sacrifice your ego and opinions on substantive information.
Yeah, which is why this is going to take a long time to really.
Yeah.
It should take a long time to really understand because it's deep and complex. If it's easy to understand, then it's been made religious, probably.
Right.
But,
good point.
Yeah. Okay. I would love to just give you all a preview. I can't right now, but maybe next week, a screenshot of the comments that we get just from absolutely every angle you could imagine.
What does that mean? Explain.
We get, well, to paraphrase, we get, you are ridiculous for having an invisible imaginary friend in God, believing in God. You get, so we're too Christian. You get, you are going to hell forever, and you are a servant of Satan.
Oh my gosh.
Misleading people. We get, this is why Islam is the true way. We get, you sound Mormon. We get, you blatantly lie. We get, this is beautiful, I fully agree. So every very now and then we get that. We get, you have a man bun, so I won't listen to you.
Oh, that one kills me.
I actually don't understand it. Like, what are they implying? And they're like, what clique are you from with this man bun? There's some sort of, please in the chat tell us, what does a man bun mean? Because I have no
all I can say is Paul said
understanding.
it's a shame. It doesn't tell you that it's a shame for a man to have long hair. Paul says that.
Oh,
so that person might be citing that cultural.
But there's a lot. One of those was Mormon that said that, and one of them was not Mormon. Yeah, everyone's siding with each other for all different ones. We get that I am the Trinity, that the second coming is inside of me, that the second coming is happening later, that the second coming already happened. We get just truly anything you can think of.
It's anything.
Anything you can
you
think
name
of.
it. Hell, I believe in annihilationism.
Yes.
I don't think it's a real fire.
Yeah.
I think it's a real fire.
Yeah.
I think it's eternal.
Yeah.
I think it's purgatory. It's endless. Baptism. You name it.
Yeah.
And that's why we say doctrine does not matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. The material that we just get in response proves the point.
Proves it.
The general sense of all of it together collectively. Jeff says, these commenters, LOL, Sean's man bun is doctrinally sound. It's truly at that level. You are not doctrinally sound for having a man bun. That is the type of SHIT we get.
It's almost like saying they're not circumcised, so...
True.
This stuff is not new, really, is it?
It is, true. Cults always try to control people's hair, clean-shaven missionaries, etc. That's true.
True.
But for some reason, some of these man bun comments seem to be coming from, like, not religious perspectives. It's like, it feels like you are affiliated with, like, some sort of secular... I looked it up. I Googled, what is a man bun, like,
is it a liberal conservative thing?
It's like, I think it's political. I think it's more like, liberal.
You've not met anybody more fiscally conservative in your life. I believe in fiscal conservatism.
That's funny because you also will just give your money to any homeless person near you.
I know.
You have a generous heart.
Well, I'm not political. I am more liberal leaning, not in fiscally though. And I just think that the government should help our poor. That's the only way I'm liberal leaning.
Yes.
I'm not liberal in the sense of moral liberalities.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And none of that has to do with your beliefs.
None.
It must be said. Yeah. So, I mean, I could enumerate. I'm literally looking right now. Grow up, dude. It's a fairy tale. Uh, I know the Bible. You're completely wrong.
I love that.
I'm just, that's a small snapshot. So, um, and I have to address that it was very upsetting for me for a moment because this is new to putting these shorts out and stuff. But maybe if you guys want to chat your thoughts about how I can see it in reality. But part of my understanding is that I think there's this sense of distance that this person has from you, and they don't feel like they're looking you in the face and saying these words to your face. They think they're almost like talking to each other. Like comments are more to talk to each other than to address the person in the video talking. And so they like
I'm the subject of a
yes,
conversation.
yes,
Okay.
yes. Like it's almost like you don't exist. You are just something that came out of the ether and brought up a topic that they can now all talk about and hate on. Like the hate isn't on you as a person. It is.
Yeah.
Like it is on you as a person, but
I get that. I think that's probably a good assessment of it all.
well, it's the only way I can make sense of the vitriol that Christians speak with in comments. Oh, just now we got a comment that I'd like to look at. I'm a bit confused. And is this person espousing, this is in your Horatio Christie in the full video, they're watching it. Is this person espousing a preterist view in which all of the things Christ prophesied that would happen before he returns happened in 70 AD, and therefore nothing else needs to happen for Christ to return so he can return at any moment?
No.
Or is he saying that Christ already returned physically, literally established his eternal kingdom, that we all simply missed it? Like the students of the Apostle John, such as Ignatius of Antioch, simply missed the fact that Christ came back again during his lifetime.
Yeah.
I'm honestly confused as to exactly what this guy is saying about history.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. Leviticus 19:20, Exodus 24:5. Don't worship idols, and especially don't tattoo them on your body. Bruh has both on one hand.
Jesus is going to return with printing on his thigh. And what is printing on skin called? A tattoo. So get off your high horse. The only people who couldn't be tattooed were the high priests in ancient Israel, and that was because it was mimicking what the Egyptians were doing. And today we have liberty. To the pure, nothing is impure. I don't see a tattoo as defiling me. It's not what goes into the mouth that defiles a man. It's what comes out. And what just came out of your mouth, bruh, is more heinous than me printing on my body. So grow the fuck up.
Okay. That's great. I mean, that one gets people up in arms in general because a lot of people obviously think it's BS. But
by the way, just to say it again, I know you guys are probably sick of it, but I didn't get my first tattoo till I was 50. And I got it because I carried around a chip on my shoulder given to me by my mom, which were people who have tattoos are evil, low-life scumbags. And I always looked at people with tattoos through those eyes. And when I realized that was so deep in me, I said, screw it. And the first tattoo I got was the cross on my hand. I had to sign a waiver because it was my first tattoo.
wow.
It was on my hand, and it was put on my hand the opposite way that it was supposed to.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the opposite. It's supposed to be when my hand's hanging down, you see it?
You wanted it the other way?
No, I wanted it this way.
Oh, I see.
And I had to agree that the artist would not be held
Wow.
responsible for it being upside down.
That is
50-year-old man.
That's so weird that there's a supposed to with
Yeah.
a tattoo.
Oh, yeah. It's the person looking at you is to see it in the way it's supposed to be seen. So when you look at me, it's
That's so
upside down.
interesting. I didn't know that was like a rule for the
Yeah.
artist.
Mhm.
Huh. Grill Master, is there only certain people the LDS will baptize for the dead?
I think there's been some historical cases where they won't baptize somebody who was like a felon or serial killer. If the name comes up and they can catch it, they won't do that. But that could be folklore. I'm not sure.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Jeff just donated $10. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. What, you get notice of when
Yeah.
it's like a ching.
Yeah,
ching.
it's like in the chat they can support. And
Wow.
he donated for Shawn's hair elastics or care of his own unique choice. And he also said your episode explaining about tattoos made a friend of mine cry in joy because she got told she couldn't have a tattoo the way she wanted it as well. Meaningful.
Wow.
That's really nice. Thanks, Jeff, for the support.
Yeah. I'd love to meet you. Is he in the
I
state?
know. He's in Oregon.
Oh, we should get together
Sorry
someday.
to expose your location. I know. It would be nice.
What's his last name?
I don't know. Is it?
It's a joke.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my gosh. I was actually about to say it. I don't. It's one of two. I go off of your email or your username, and I can't tell which one it is. Wait. Roseburg, Oregon, Jeff Day. I'm not ashamed to say it.
All right. Way to be bold, brother.
What is your email has a different name after Jeff than Day, and I didn't know if that was was a different last name. Okay. Let's keep going. Do you have some
going.
we went over earlier?
You keep going, babe.
Questions? Okay. 1 second, guys. Sorry about this.
Let's see. I did write some things down here. If I can get my moose to work.
Moose.
We answered Jen. Oh, somebody commented on me sounding exhausted in talking to the LDS. And
this was on Full Circle, his first episode where he's defending Mormons, and they're just saying that you've gotten tired of standing up for the truth, basically.
come on, man. That's all we do is try to stand for the truth, but we try to be reasonable and understand people come from different places. I'm not exhausted, but I do get exhausted by staying in the same rut, doing the same thing and expecting different results.
Mm-hmm.
So I do speak the truth. And if I talk to any LDS person, if they ask me, I would, and they wanted articulation, I'd explain all the things I disagree with them on. But Mormons, the people, the believers in Mormonism deserve to be defended because they have the right to believe as they want. They include Christ in their doctrine, and that's not up to us to decide. It's up to God and the individual. So I think we should just be hands off on that. Another one is Rich P and Al, aka Zoom, had a conversation, and Rich Pease talked about the importance of submitting to the authority of the church.
We get it a lot. That's one of the most common.
Submitting to the authority of the church. So let's just talk about it reasonably.
Because, so he brought that up because we're arguing for the Spirit, the fruit of the Spirit to guide, love being the metric, and he's saying that the Spirit leads people in all sorts of directions, and that's why the fixed authority of the church is what allows you to discern right from wrong, especially with like doctrinal interpretation. So
I would suggest that the Spirit with the article "the" being capitalized will never lead everybody in different directions. That unless it has to do with some subjective thing in their life, like you need to get off the railroad tracks or you're going to be killed. He doesn't give that to everybody. So maybe there's some differences. But when it comes to doctrine and theology and how to believe, the Spirit's going to be the Spirit. It's the Spirit of truth.
okay, so an example is that you've been going by the Spirit, I think, your whole life to some degree, but you've changed doctrinally. So at one time, it was, I think it's more like an uncovering over time.
Yeah.
But I think what people don't address is that the Spirit working happens over a long period of time, and that mistakes happen in the meantime that are our humanity getting in the way, right?
Absolutely.
So,
And I'm really glad you pointed that out,
yeah.
because while the Spirit is leading to the truth, we see through a glass darkly, and we misinterpret things. Even when we have the scripture to back us up, we misinterpret things. That's why I've changed my mind. I haven't changed my mind because the Spirit suddenly came to me and said, change your mind on this.
Yes.
I changed it because I gained more information from the scripture that said your former view is incorrect.
Right.
And the Spirit then, I believe, validates the change. And so that's how I use it.
Okay, because there are many people who I do think earnestly are going by the Spirit, who read and discern information very, very differently.
Absolutely.
So that's the problem that this person is addressing.
Okay.
And I don't think that you disagree that that happens.
No.
So what is going on? Is it that I think they would say this, like, either it's that the Spirit is unreliable or that the Spirit is not in one or the other. And I don't think either of those is true.
No.
The Spirit is in people who see through a glass darkly. So then why the conversation or the point about discerning something by its fruit?
Okay.
Because people are off.
In
often.
context of that comment, what they're commenting on was a clip that you put up, that what I was saying is the way to determine if your interpretation of a set of passages is correct is, does it support agape love? Does it lend to, push for agape love? And I use the example of, for instance, Joseph Smith said polygamy is from God. And so someone could say, well, I go into the Bible and it is in there. And so that is an inferior source to get your truth from when it comes to the Bible, because the Bible does talk about God giving David all of Saul's wives and all these other things. So the question becomes, how do you discern between what's in the Bible? Should we still be stoning people? Should we still be hating homosexuals or whatever people do? And so my litmus test is, does my interpretation of these passages support selfless, insufferable, sacrificial love? And when you do that, it is almost fail-proof in terms of you being able to rightly interpret doctrine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all that was.
But I think you would have argued, the case still stands that two different people are seeing through a glass darkly, going by the Spirit, thinking that it's producing the fruit of love, and it's not, and they learn the hard way or whatever. So even deeper maybe than all of this is that we can't tell if someone is going by the Spirit or not.
That's
Would
true.
you be able to say that?
Oh,
Would
absolutely.
you go as far? So then
yeah.
it's, so this idea of discerning it by its love is for oneself.
For oneself.
It's not to say someone else is loving or not, or going by the Spirit. Is
Yeah,
that true for you?
I would agree with that.
Okay.
The other thing to add to it too is that the Spirit, the Scripture talks about different dimensions of understanding, and it talks about being a milk drinker. And Paul criticizes the believers, or the writer of Hebrews criticizes the believers in Hebrews 5 for being immature and not being able to talk to them about Melchizedek. And so we also have the idea that God does not give a 4-year-old War and Peace.
Right.
There is the Spirit revealing things
Yes.
according to your level of maturity.
Yeah.
So we are going to always have differences of opinions. And therefore we say, as a response to all of these things, it is love that should abide and triumph over differences, because we're all in different places, and because of those aforementioned facts I just gave.
Right. Because you arguing that the Spirit is working with someone, again, is an individual process.
Right.
It's not the Spirit and the love produced by a group or a denomination or
Never.
something. Like, that's never going to be the case. Denominations might be more or less loving, but they aren't because they are exclusive. Like, that in itself is not, like, the Spirit and love and all this stuff is an individual process.
It is, and that's why we say the faith is subjective, and
Yes.
it's your walk and your learning.
Yeah.
You made me think of something else about that, and that is the Spirit, love. What were you saying about that? Maturity. Oh, consensus, the
Yes.
collective.
Yeah. Collective.
There's a really fascinating thing that I see. The LDS do a lot of this, and others do too, is that they make the mistake of thinking when there's emotions involved, the Spirit is there.
Yeah, 100%.
And the Mormons are classic at this.
Yeah.
They'll cry and they'll say, "Do you feel the Spirit? Do you feel the Spirit?"
Yeah.
And the Spirit's not lacrimal, man. The Spirit is straight up and truthful, and it's hard sometimes to hear the Spirit.
Yeah.
So I don't know about all that emotional side.
That's interesting. Like, the Spirit being applied, because you do a lot of teaching about the difference between your heart and your mind, will, and emotion. And different versions of Christianity apply the Spirit or wield the Spirit through one of those. And
Yes.
Mormons use emotion. I think Christians use their mind. The Spirit is about logic.
That's right.
Like, if it makes sense, the Spirit is in it.
That's right.
And I'm curious about the will.
That'd be
those
like
people,
a very militant
Yeah.
religious group. Amish might be
they
will
have
driven.
the deep spirit
Yeah.
because they have the motivation
Yeah.
to act. And it's really interesting.
And I think a lot of religious people will assign feelings of patriotism to
Yes.
feelings of God.
Yes.
That the Spirit is making them proud of their country.
Yeah, it's really distinguishing. The definition of the Spirit in the Yeshuan context is very specific.
Yeah.
It's very specific, individual, heart-based, not emotions, not even facts.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. And what Delaney's mentioning, if you don't know, is that we really do draw a distinct line between how this world operates on our human mind, will, and emotion, and teleological ethics versus how the Spirit from the individual's heart is they're in harmony with the Spirit from their heart when they are standing in truth. And it's their heart. It's not their mind, will, and emotion that God looks at.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
So that's why I say you can have a devout Muslim man who only believes Jesus was a prophet
Yeah.
and believes in Allah and God, and they can be just as justified before
Yeah.
God because they will learn their knees will bow that
again,
it is Christ.
It's not saying it's not Christ.
Right.
It's just that our knowledge is
Right, our mind.
freaking warped.
Right.
Yeah. Let's read some of these. Really fast. The word Spirit means wind, not water. Tears have nothing to do with it. That's funny.
That's a little
Patriotism and quote unquote school spirit and team spirit are all examples of that pride feeling. Not necessarily bad, and I don't think this is wrong necessarily. I just think the error is thinking that these feelings can be a measure for truthfulness. Yeah, which is also to say that that's the Spirit of God. Like,
right.
those are different spirits to me.
Yeah.
Like, the Spirit of God that's working in people is a very different spirit than the spirit that we feel through our mind, will, and emotion toward earthly things.
When I think about it, if I was to say that I went to a patriotic parade or a football game and the spirit was strong, such spirit there, or a military march or any of that, when I compare that to the fruit of the Spirit that I've experienced with God, the fruit of the Spirit that comes with God working on the heart creates humility. It creates humility versus those other things create pride. The military, the football team, and that's why I don't really appreciate much music in churches, because they use that to create these feelings. But they're just emotions.
Which is it's a conflation of one spirit with another.
The conflation.
It's a conflation.
Paul said, test the spirits. And I try to do that.
So
I'm very spiritual, but it's demons and darkness that I feel too.
Yeah. Spiritual is not the same as the spirit.
No, it is not.
Yeah.
When people say I'm spiritual and then they take you to read tarot cards, it terrifies me.
Yeah, totally. But, okay, so back to the original comment, which is that the Spirit, like the authority of the church, is the discerner of the Spirit. There's been another comment that this is a common one, the two-way thing. Like, you don't know what the Spirit is without the Bible, and then you can't discern the Bible without the Spirit. So you learn, like, you check on something being of the Spirit through the Bible. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I can agree with that to a great extent. Yeah.
Yeah, I commented back like that. I don't think we disagree with that.
Yeah.
It's just the collectivizing of it.
Yeah, and let's talk about that for a second. The authority of the church. Yes. I want to know where the authority comes from. If anyone can answer that, then I will say, okay.
Well, they do answer that, and they all answer it differently.
Right, they answer it differently, and they answer it ineffectively.
Yeah, like absurd.
Yeah.
Authority is from it's from some type of consensus, first of all, and it's either consensus about an interpretation of the Bible or consensus about how things are done.
Yeah.
As humans.
Yeah.
Or ritualized.
And it's a consensus that you put the power into men's hands.
Yeah, or it's a man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's a man directly connected to Jesus.
Yeah.
It's one of these. It's all abstracted connections to Jesus in different forms.
Right.
Those are the different forms of authority claims.
But none of them
are Jesus himself.
Right. And none of them are absent of gaps.
Yes, no, not at all.
Big
it's
gaps.
Like comical.
Yeah.
But then the alternative that I have trouble with is people seeing the ridiculousness of that and saying authority is in me. Like, I have authority. Like,
just as ludicrous.
Yeah. And we're saying it's subjective and the individual read is essential, but it's not an individual read of ourselves.
No.
I'll
guarantee you, from my position, that all true followers of God through Christ submit everything to him as the authority. Mm-hmm. And I've had a pastor tell me, well, that's going to lead you to trouble. Direct authority from Christ. It's never led me to trouble.
What is the basis for saying that would lead you to trouble? What do they say? What trouble?
Because the early church was founded on apostles and teachers and deacons. And so all these men in the early church to govern the bride were in place for a purpose. So that one maverick doesn't get to go out and just become something that he wants to become. Well,
that shouldn't happen if it's inflicted on other people. One maverick can go and do whatever he wants.
Right.
If it's inflicted on other people and coerced, then it's a bad thing.
Right. I have yet to agree with it because I've tested it myself, and I submit wholly everything I can to him. I do it every day, numerous times a day, always have. And, that's what he teaches.
Yeah.
The word is arche.
Yeah.
He's our primary principle. There are no subarches to us, and men have always wanted to have kings.
Yeah, it's been really, I finally think I understand what you mean by this. And it's taken me a really long time because Christianity claims that that's what they do.
Right.
It's really, really hard to parse out that they don't do that,
Right.
because if you get into conversation, it's like, of course it's Jesus first and only.
Right.
And they'll never not admit that, but like, unless they're like very like understand what they believe, but like a normal Christian doesn't understand that at all. Like me, I did not understand the difference. So Jeff, to identify an authority on earth just allows that entity to coerce people. Exactly.
Amen.
Why willingly be coerced or coerce when instead we can just use our minds and conscience and all try our best to navigate?
Well, I agree with that to a certain extent, but my worldview is pretty convinced that even the most noble and benevolent souls who embark on that path, if the circumstances are right, they will fail.
Right.
Yeah.
So you do appeal to an authority.
Him.
The authority is the source, and the result is no coercion from another and no coercion upon another.
Right.
And
no shame, no guilt, no judgment, no condemnation.
Yeah. But you also, I think you would acknowledge that what Jeff is saying is the reality.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, we have our own minds and consciousness and we decide what our authority is. Like, that's the reality of life.
It's such the reality, and it's the reality in every church imaginable, unless they are a totalistic methodologies cult where the people surrender everything over to the authority.
Right.
Otherwise, you go to any just typical, even Mormon, Baptist, Catholic, they all have their own beliefs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Individually. Yeah.
Sorry, Girl Master, but he asked a question a while ago, which is, what is the oh, wait. Did we do this? What's the ceremony like for the dead? When he was asking about the baptisms for the dead, what's the ceremony like? Does the elder carry the corpse out of the coffin? That would be so. That's the one thing I did do as a kid. We do them as kids.
Yeah.
I was a child, the 9-year-old.
Yeah, you get to taken
on a trip
and go into the temple.
It is eerie. It was eerie then. I did not know what was going on.
Yeah.
And they put you in a font and they baptize you over and over and over again, reciting different people's names as they do it. And the font is in this creepy
basement.
Yeah, with sitting on bowls and it's the whole thing. What are they, bowls?
Yeah, bowls.
Are they bowls?
BULLS, not BOWLS.
Yeah, statues of bowls.
Yeah, they take that from the ancient Israel.
Okay.
But it's in the basement because that's the lowest level of ordinances a person can get, and as you go up, you climb physically up. Wow. That's taken from masonry.
Wow.
But bottom line, what they do, that's why they have genealogical vaults that are the biggest in the world here in Utah. And they have the genealogies so that they can derive names of people that they put through their system, and then they give the man in the water in the font the names of a dozen people, and then they take a little child and they baptize that child in the name of those 12 people. Insane. And then they go through and have the other work done for them vicariously, so that the people on the other side can all have the LDS rituals done for them. So if they choose the truth on the other side, they have it all done.
Well, it is charitable.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a
nice.
system. Yeah.
At least they care. That is pretty interesting that they think it can change in the afterlife.
Yeah, they do. And they really pride themselves in that, because they say Christians just say you're going to hell.
Yeah, I see how there's these different alignments with what we say in Mormonism.
Yeah.
with the Trinity and the
Smith outsmarted the
the
Christian
heavens.
church.
Yeah,
Truly.
for sure.
Yeah, and we're outsmarting Smith. Not me. We're. That means you guys listening too.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, it's 1 p.m.
Do you know where your children are?
1 p.m. Mountain, and we are going to wrap it.
Hey, we love you guys calling in, writing in, Jeff and others. And, you know, I hope that you'll leave today with the notion that the love is everything, man. It's everything. You will not die. I cannot believe you'll die and say, I wish I would have been right on this doctrine, and be happy that you failed in love. Always choose selfless, sacrificial, insufferable love in the name of our King. Delaney, I leave it up to you.
Thanks for that conclusion. We love you all. Tune in next week.